Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about minimalist living for full-time travelers, a life without stuff.
Our story started about 6 years ago when we initially decided to sell everything, and we thought it was going to be a crazy idea. Kind of was at the time, but we did it. We sold our house, we sold our cars, we sold everything in our houses, and got it down to just one suitcase each and one backpack each and a couple things in storage in a small box. Now initially we did get a storage unit. That was a mistake, so we kind of quickly got rid of that. But we just decided we'd had enough with stuff and all the things that go with that, so we basically decided to sell it all right off the beginning.
Yeah, when we initially started the process of, cleaning up our home and preparing it for sale and for showings and all that kind of stuff, we really had some really deep dive conversations about the stuff and kind of helped us to make some decisions in the vein of like Swedish death cleaning. Really helped us to make some decisions as to how much, if any, we wanted to keep. And I think that's what really helped us to get it down to just the storage unit from, 3,500, 4,000 square foot home down to just a little storage unit.
Yeah, and what we really realized in this process was that, if we needed something that we had sold, we could always just buy it back. And I think that was a big realization that we were more attached to our stuff than we needed to be, and we needed to get rid of it so that we were unattached, because it was really owning us instead of us owning it.
I think that's a really big thing, is when you start to make that realization of, do I really need this thing or I just want it? And there's a huge difference between those two things of actually needing something and wanting it.
So a couple things that have happened is, first of all, our stress levels have really reduced since we've gotten rid of this stuff. It's an immense level of stress reduction, because when you own something, like I said, you don't really own it. It more owns you, because you're kind of a slave to keeping it up and maintaining it and making sure it's up to date, and whatever you need to do for that item, paying additional taxes or insurance on it, it really just kind of drives your stress up. And when you get rid of all those things at once, you'd be shocked at how much stress is gone from your life.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It always, as we were working through the process, I always remembered this cartoon that our kids had watched when they were little, and one of the characters in the cartoon bought a new toy Jeep for their doll, and then the friend said, "Oh, that's so cool, you got that toy Jeep. Oh, I bet you're really happy." And they're like, "No, not really, because I really want to get the trailer that goes on the back of it, and then, add on from there and from there and from there." And then the friend was finally like, "So you're just never going to be happy, because you're just going to keep adding on to it." And that's really what happens, is you add on so much stuff that you never need and that you just think you want. You don't even really want it in a lot of cases, right? It just ends up being that you just, want to put it in there for whatever reason.
And another thing that we realized was that there really isn't much of anything that we miss now. Like, we travel around and we live in either an Airbnb or in a hotel, and they're all fully furnished. They all have, couches, beds, TVs, lamps, night tables, just like you would at home. They may not be the exact one that we would have bought, but they're all fully furnished. So we don't really miss anything, and that's kind of been the thing that's most impressive, is that not only not miss things, when things go wrong, we don't have to worry about it. Like, even if you're renting an apartment, you're furnishing an apartment, you have to be concerned with maintenance on everything in there. In this style that we're doing, we're not having to be concerned about anything that we're living with.
Yeah, there just so much comes with owning stuff that just really weighs you down. And as you said earlier, there's just so much less stress involved with what we currently own, which is really just clothing for the most part. There's just a few fun things that we have with us.
Yeah, we do carry, I do carry an Xbox with me. I do carry my cameras. We do carry our computers. That's pretty much the extent of it, because everything else, like, those are things that are not going to be furnished by a hotel, and they're small enough to pack. So we do carry those things, but that's pretty much the extent of it. And even when I have to do upkeep on those things, I still don't like it.
Yeah, for sure. You still find yourself thinking, oh, I gotta get a new case for my phone, or I want to get a new case for my computer, or a new lens for the camera. It's like there's still those little things that you kind of work that you're like, well, I don't really want to add more weight to my bags, so that helps to really, it is like you said earlier, more forced minimalism, but it works out really well, and I think it's just made so much sense over the years. It's become easier and easier to say no to things.
Exactly. Now, we do get asked a lot about if there's anything that we miss, that we've sold, and that we've just kind of liquidated it. And there are a few things that we do miss. One thing that I do miss is my grill. I used to like to grill food a lot, so, grill steaks and whatever. I do miss that, and we can't obviously bring that with us. They're generally not provided by a hotel. But whenever we do kind of get that itch to do it, we can always rent a house on Airbnb that comes with a grill, an outdoor kitchen, even a rooftop patio. And so what's been kind of cool is when we do want to do that kind of thing, we've actually been able to rent houses that have better grills and better outdoor kitchen areas than the one we had. So we kind of do that, kind of scratch that itch, and then we move on. And the way I think about it was, in Georgia or a lot of parts of the U.S., grilling is seasonal anyway, because you don't do it as much in the cold, although we did it quite a bit. But you don't do it when it's snowing out for the most part. So you go months of the year without doing it. So that's kind of how we look at it now. We go quite a while without doing it. And if we want to do it, we can always get that. We can always arrange to have that happen.
Yeah, there are definitely times when we can work that into our plan. Like, oh, I really want to, the grilling was probably the biggest one. That's not something obviously you can bring with you. So it is nice that when we're desperately feeling it's something that we want to experience, then we go ahead and book something that will fulfill that for us.
Yeah, and the money savings that you get with this lifestyle is pretty enormous, because you're simply not buying stuff. And if you add up the money that you spend just on things that you don't even realize you're spending it on, it used to be like every day in Atlanta, you'd run into Target to get eggs, and it's like a $63 bill when you come out, because you've picked up 7 or 8 things that you need for the house, and you just don't do that kind of stuff anymore. And that adds up to hundreds and hundreds of dollars per month.
Yeah, for sure. $63 is a very low estimate for a trip to Target. I have to say, you see so many cool, cute things, and you end up buying all this. It's like, did I really need another vase for the kitchen, or did I need more placemats? And you just see cute stuff and you just buy it because you have somewhere to put it. This way, you see cute stuff, you look at it, you enjoy it. Maybe send a picture to somebody you think would enjoy it also, and then you move on, and you don't have to schlep that around with you.
We've kind of taken the mentality of experiences over things, and that's kind of what's been driving us these last 5 or 6 years. And that's kind of one of the reasons that we do YouTube, and how it all kind of started was we wanted to be able to preserve our memories, because that's important, and we can't really bring photo albums. Those aren't really a thing anymore. Don't bring those with us, and we just wanted to have a place. So we really just dove into the experiences aspect of life.
Yeah, it's just makes a big difference when you make the shift into experiences over things. Even if you can do both, it still doesn't make a lot of sense to have a lot of things. There's just no reason for them. The experiences are really what will stay with you. And like you said, we started the YouTube to kind of share, to kind of, lock in those memories online, but also share with friends and family that wanted to have the experiences also. So it was really nice to have something up there. We watch our old videos. Sometimes we're like, oh, you remember when we were hiking, up that waterfall in Iceland and this happened, and we're like, oh, let's watch that video, and pull up the video of it, and we get to enjoy it all over again. Oh, that's so funny. I had forgotten about that. And it's really cool to kind of relive those experiences.
And it does make birthdays and Christmas, which for us is like 1 week. Both our birthdays and Christmas are the same week. So it does make that kind of an interesting time of year, because if you're a minimalist and you full-time travel, you can't really buy each other a lot of stuff. So we try to come up with interesting things to do in December, or maybe we'll splurge on I'd say usually I have a pretty nice apartment in December because it's like birthday and Christmas gift to ourselves. So this year in Bangkok, that's why we went for the $1,400 a month apartment, because we wanted to be perched above the river to see the big fireworks show. And we did get to see that. And last year we gave ourselves, or you gave me, tickets to the Edmonton Oilers hockey game. So we kind of got tickets right on the glass, like front row tickets. And that's kind of cool, because that's the kind of things you can do when you're not spending money on things, or buying things for each other.
Exactly. Those are just special moments that we get to enjoy and spend a little extra on. Like you said, we always spend extra in December for that reason, because it's our birthdays and Christmas and New Year's all in the same month. So we always splurge in December, because that's basically our gift to each other. We take turns picking them out, and we both enjoy whatever the other person's doing anyways. But because I had just as much fun at that hockey game as you did.
Yeah, I would say, we get asked if we would do it again, minimalist living, and without a doubt. It has been a great decision. Stress-wise, we feel better. Financially, we're much better off. And there just really isn't anything that I think we're missing out on.
Yeah, there just isn't. And I really can't think of anything where we're like, well, if we had a house, we really could do this, or we could have this experience. There's really no situation where that has been the case, has it?
No. And granted, part of it is that we did have that house. We did do all those things. We did have a big house with a basement that I finished off, and I made a home theater down there, and we wanted to do all that stuff when we had our kids. But you kind of do that, and then it's a lot of work. Like, it was a lot of work to do that, a lot of work to upkeep it, and like trying to figure out, okay, now there's a crackling in the wires, and I'm just too tired for that. So I don't want to do that. I'd rather spend my time doing things I enjoy than troubleshooting things that are going wrong with something that I've bought.
Yeah, especially when in the cost is included that someone else is going to take care of the problems.
Yeah.
That really makes the decision really easy to make the shift between those. And, at the end of the day, you just have to, as we mentioned earlier, make that decision between, do you want to, own the stuff that eventually ends up owning you, because it comes with so much, not just upkeep of it, but just, the other things that come along with it. It just makes things really stressful and challenging. It's so much better to have an experience with a lot less things, as few things as possible. And honestly, a suitcase and a backpack, we probably still have too much, but it's down to what we find, is more than palatable of things to own for us.
Yeah, so this has been our experience. If you're thinking about this, we totally recommend it. If you have questions, put them in the comments. Let us know how much you would spend on a normal Target run also. I don't know what it would cost anymore.
Pretty sure more than $63.
It's been a while since we've been there, so let us know.
It has been months and months since we've been there. But guys, if you enjoyed this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Leave us those comments down below, and we will see you next time.